The world economy is shifting, and India stands at the edge of a turning point. For years, extra tariffs on Indian goods have cast a shadow, restricting growth and global trade opportunities. But now, a bold claim has been made, one that could change the balance. The chief economic advisor of India, Nageswaran, says that Trump's extra 25% tariff on Indian goods may soon be slashed. What does this mean for India? And for the world. For too long, India has carried the burden of unfair trade practices, and the 25% extra tariff imposed by the Trump administration stands as a reminder of that struggle. This is not just a number that economists argue about or a figure hidden in trade documents. This is a weight that every Indian exporter has felt on their shoulders. It is the silent tax that has forced industries to cut down their potential, the invisible barrier that has stopped Indian goods from reaching the markets they deserve. But when we talk about the possibility of these tariffs being slashed, we are not merely talking about reduced costs. We are talking about freedom. Freedom for India's industries to compete on equal ground. Freedom for Indian products to stand tall in global markets without being unfairly shackled. Think about the farmer whose produce could finally travel across oceans without losing its worth to tariffs. Think about the textile worker, the small business owner, the factory employee. Each of them would feel the difference, not in abstract graphs, but in real opportunities. It is about the dignity of labor, about giving Indian craftsmanship and innovation the respect it deserves. This moment is not just economic, it is symbolic. It represents India's resilience, its ability to withstand pressure and still move forward. If these tariffs are lifted, it will not only unlock trade opportunities, but also send a clear message. India is not a country to be sidelined or penalized. It is a force in the global economy, and its time has come. The potential slash in tariffs is a chance to rise stronger, to compete fearlessly, and to reclaim the ground that was once lost. This is more than policy. It's India's fight for fairness. A slash in tariffs is not just about lower prices. It is about unleashing an ocean of possibilities for India. When the weight of an extra 25% is lifted, doors open wide for industries that have been waiting for their chance to shine. Imagine Indian textiles flowing into American stores without the unfair cost barrier. Picture Indian technology firms competing head-to-head with global giants, no longer held back by punitive tariffs. From the steel that builds skyscrapers to the spices that flavor kitchens around the world, every sector stands to benefit. This is not a small shift. It is a powerful surge forward. For decades, India has been called the land of potential. But potential without opportunity feels like a promise unfulfilled. The slash in tariffs could turn that potential into tangible growth. It could mean more contracts signed, more factories humming, and more exports setting sail to foreign shores. Every rupee earned abroad translates into stronger industries at home, and stronger industries mean more jobs, more stability, and more pride for millions of Indians. But let us not forget, this is not just a gift to India. The world, too, stands to gain. Affordable Indian products mean more choices for consumers globally, more competition in markets, and more balance in trade. When India rises, it doesn't rise alone. It carries others with it, bringing fairness and diversity to the global economy. This is why tariffs matter. This is why the possibility of their reduction matters even more. It is about giving India the chance to step into its rightful role as a global economic leader. If this claim becomes reality, the surge of opportunity will not be a trickle. It will be a flood, and India must be ready to embrace it. Beyond profits and beyond numbers, this moment speaks to something far deeper, the dignity of India and its people. Tariffs have never just been about economics. They have been about fairness, about respect, about whether Indian labor and innovation are valued on the world stage. Every extra 25% duty placed on Indian goods has been more than a tax. It has been a statement, intentional or not, that India's contribution was somehow less deserving. And yet, despite the weight of that burden, India has not bowed down. Its farmers still plowed the land. Its entrepreneurs still built businesses. Its workers still toiled in factories, producing goods that carried not just a price tag, but the pride of a nation. Now imagine what it would mean if those barriers were finally lifted. For the farmer in Punjab, whose produce could reach more tables across the world. For the textile worker in Tamil Nadu, whose craftsmanship could compete on equal footing in global markets. For the young entrepreneur in Bengaluru, whose innovation could sell without unnecessary obstacles. This is not about a favor. It is about justice. It is about recognizing that Indian goods in Indian hands have always been worthy. Every trade policy carries with it a message. A reduction in tariffs would be more than an adjustment of numbers. It would be a signal that India is seen, heard, and respected. It would tell every small business owner, every worker, every dreamer that their labor is valued equally, that their effort matters, and that the world acknowledges India's rightful place in trade. This is why the possibility excites not just economists, but ordinary citizens. It touches hearts as much as it moves markets, because dignity is priceless, and this step could give it back in full measure. Trump's policies have always been marked by unpredictability, bold moves, sharp turns, and sudden shifts that have often kept the world on edge. For India, those policies meant being placed under the weight of an additional 25% tariff, a penalty that many saw as unfair and unnecessary. Yet now, if the claim of a possible reduction holds true, it signals something bigger than just a change in trade math. It signals a shift in perception. It says that India is no longer a country to be treated as a challenger to be punished, but a partner to be respected. Respect in global trade is not granted, it is earned. And India has earned it through resilience, consistency, and growth. Even in the face of extra tariffs, Indian industries adapted, innovated, and fought to maintain their presence in foreign markets. That endurance has not gone unnoticed. A reduction in tariffs would be an acknowledgement of that strength, a recognition that India is not just a buyer or a seller, it is a pillar of the global economy. This shift also reflects changing realities. The world needs India, not just as a trading partner, but as a stabilizing force in a fragile global order. Its market is vast, its workforce dynamic, and its industries increasingly competitive. To continue penalizing India is to deny the inevitable truth that India's rise cannot be stopped. So, if Trump's unpredictable policies now tilt toward reducing tariffs, it is not merely a political decision. It is an admission of India's power. It is a message that India has crossed the line from being a market under pressure to being a nation that commands respect. And in that respect lies the foundation of India's future leadership on the world stage. The possibility of a tariff slash carries with it a message that goes far beyond trade agreements. It is a call to action. The future, after all, belongs to those who refuse to be held back by barriers. India has faced the weight of these extra tariffs for years. It has endured the losses, adjusted its strategies, and still found ways to grow. That resilience tells a story of strength. And now, with the prospect of those barriers being removed, the opportunity is not just to survive, but to rise higher than ever before. This is a moment to ask ourselves, are we ready to seize what lies ahead? Because opportunity is not enough on its own. It demands preparation, courage, and vision. Indian industries must be ready to expand, innovate, and capture markets the moment the gates open. Entrepreneurs must think bigger, exporters must aim wider, and policymakers must ensure that India steps forward not cautiously but confidently. What is at stake is not just economics, it is destiny. If tariffs fall, India can redefine its role in the world economy. It can transform from being seen as a rising power to being recognized as a global leader. Every ship that leaves Indian ports, every product that carries the mark "Made in India" will no longer just be goods crossing borders. They will be symbols of a nation claiming its place in history. The world is watching, the winds of change are blowing, and the chance is real. India has borne the struggle. Now it must claim the reward. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to seize the moment, to break through every remaining barrier, and to lead boldly into the future. The winds of change are blowing. What seemed like a wall may soon be a doorway. The world is watching, and history is calling. India stands not just to benefit, but to lead,